Ladies and gentlemen, relations between the Islamic Republic of Iran and India are rooted in thousands of years of shared history and civilization and are based on strong culture, commercial, and human ties. This rich heritage is a valuable asset for expanding bilateral cooperation. The Chabahar port project, as a symbol of strategic cooperation between our two countries, plays an important role in economic development and regional connectivity.
Given what happened last January and the thousands, if not tens of thousands of people were gunned down on Iranian streets, I don't think it's very strange to see that many Iranians or some Iranians actually being happy seeing that regime forces are being targeted. But as we know, no war is clean, and there will be inevitably civilian casualties, and that might change the general mood as well as the war progresses. Regime change do not take place, cannot be done from the air. I mean, I can see two or three scenarios. One is that United States might have actually contacted elements within the regime who are prepared to make a deal, but not so long as Supreme Leader Khamenei is alive. And this scenario will be very similar to Venezuelan case. So you take out a particular leader, allowing for more pragmatic elements to take over. There are elements within the regime who, based on their interests and also some of their views, might be more likely to reach a deal with the United States. And there are also former elements of the regime who are marginalized, like Mir Hossein Mousavi, the ex-prime minister who disputed elections in 2009 and led the so-called Green Movement. Even Hassan Rouhani, who signed the nuclear deal. And he in particular has a lot of influence within IRGC itself. So under what circumstances these kind of people can come to the front and be interlocutors for US, we don't know. Another scenario is that, well, US-Israel basically want to degrade Iranian leadership and its military and security forces to the extent they can, and simply hope for people to take over state institutions, which actually during the last January protest, for the first time, there were reports of people trying to storm police stations and IRGC paramilitary Basij bases in certain neighborhoods. So if the regime is sufficiently weakened militarily and security-wise, that's not also inconceivable. And if that happens, basically you have a similar situation to the last days of 1979 revolution, when people actually stormed military bases and took over weapons and so on and so forth. None of the existing opposition groups, neither the son of the late Shah nor the Mujahideen Khalq organization, MEA, have nationwide support. Nor the Kurdish groups, who have a lot of support in Kurdistan, have influence outside the Kurdish heartland. So I don't see any single opposition group which can command nationwide loyalty, but each of them have particular strengths in areas. So one thing I would add is that US and Israeli calculation and expectation are likely to be different, and that's quite probably logical. For Israel, it really doesn't matter. It's good if regime changes to a friendly one, but so long as Iran is incapable of posing a threat to Israel, that's their desired outcome. And if this is going to be through civil war, through chaos, through, I don't know, de facto partition, so be it. I think they would welcome that eventuality. So in that sense, those assessments which say the war has no clear objective because there is no possibility for regime change, I mean, those arguments might be much more relevant to the US position, but not necessarily to Israeli desire and position.